Yeah, g'day. Bienvenidos. So I identify as a cis lesbian woman. I once saw a post on Tumblr that said something along the lines of, have you ever realized just how gay you were before you knew what it was to be gay? And that was like so true to me. You know, like admiring women instead of men, wanting to be the dad in Moms and Dads as a kid because I wanted to experience what it was like to have a woman as a partner. I can't believe I didn't come out earlier than I did. So when I was 14, I came out as bisexual when I was in high school. I think that's because I didn't have the community that I have now via YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and particularly Tumblr is one of the biggest ones. So I didn't really have an understanding of what I was, who I was, and I thought that that was the perfect label to match who I am. I think it was also a matter of wanting to become at least half normal by being half straight. Obviously now I know that to be bisexual is not just something that you can use to cover up. It is an actual sexuality. People genuinely do feel attracted to both men and women. I was and still am so incredibly grateful for the community that I had around me when I did come out. I had 5 or 6 really close girlfriends at school that were so supportive, so loving, and didn't judge me for who I was. But in saying that, I did go to a performing arts school, so chances are I was definitely not the first gay person to come out at school, and I was definitely not the last person to come out at school. I didn't come out to my parents until about maybe 4 or 5 years later when I got with my current partner. But when I did, they were so supportive, so loving, and they still loved me for who I was, who I am, and they also love and accept my girlfriend as part of the family as well. I now live with Taylor after 4 years of being in a relationship with her, with our 3 cats, and we live in a beautiful little gay, happy family. Yay! But her family is supportive, my family is supportive, and it's all I could ever ask for. I have more gay friends now than I ever have before. I think 90% of my closest friends are actually gay. And the LGBT social media platform is so accessible to me, and I feel so much more in touch than I did when I was 14. My point is that I actually had the easiest coming out experience. I just want to thank whoever it was in the universe that said that it would be okay for me to take the easy route and not have a lot of anxiety around the whole situation. My biggest issue is that not everybody has that experience. Every single day there is a new story somewhere in the world of a young lesbian, gay, bi, transgender person or anything that fits in the community who is kicked out of home or disowned by their family or fall into depression or even become suicidal because their immediate circle does not support who they are and their sexuality. Because this actually gets me very upset and emotional, I wanted to make a video about this but not make it depressing. So I've decided I'm going to momentarily go back into the closet. Hello, is anyone there? Find you guys in there, get you guys to hold my hand, and I'm gonna be here for you. I did come up with a few points and tips that actually helped me a lot when I was in the process of coming out, and I just wanted to share them. Quick little disclaimer, I'm not a professional in LGBT mental health, and I do not claim to be an expert, but this is my experience, this is how I prepared myself, and these few points and tips and helpers actually made a big difference in my experience. So here we go. Point number 1, come out to yourself first. Look at yourself in the mirror and say, I am a lesbian, I am gay, I am bisexual, I am transgender, I am queer. Personally, the hardest thing for me when I was coming out was not what somebody else would think if I told them, but actually the words that actually had to come out of my mouth. This is a perfect way to be able to come to terms with who you are, feel confident with who you are, before you can allow somebody else to be a part of that. It really helped with me because even though I did come out as bisexual at the time, it made me feel almost certain that I was, because I did find women attractive. Tip number 2, write a letter. Think of the closest person you have in your life, whether it be your parent, your friend, your sibling, your cousin, your aunt, your uncle, anyone in the world, think of who you might want to come out to first and write them a letter. You don't have to give it to them. You could probably even burn it as soon as you're done. But the best thing about it is that you can rehearse your coming out speech. I just found it was a perfect way to feel confident with what I was going to say, rehearse it in my mind before it actually came out of my mouth, or if I decided to give that letter to them. Tip number 3, find communities online. The LGBT community is so large, incredibly large, larger than you'd think. This is only my second video, but there are people that have dedicated YouTube channels, Tumblr, blogs, Facebook pages, Instagram accounts, purely for this purpose. They make themselves available for support and advice and news articles and hotlines and all those kind of different amazing avenues that there is for support for someone in the LGBT community. I will link a few of them below. And then there's also many in the YouTube content creator community as well, who I will also list somewhere. I'll post a few of my favorites for those who do need a little bit of LGBT TLC. Tip number 4. Allow yourself time. Your sexuality can be a sensitive topic, particularly if you're not even sure how to identify yourself yet. Please make sure that you allow yourself to give yourself a break while you're in the closet, because it can be a constant battle of, who do I tell? Will they judge me? Will I lose friends? Or in my situation, will all my chick friends think I'm hitting on them? But take time for your anxiety-filled brain to take a minute and breathe. Make peace with all the possibilities and know that you can't control them. My last and final tip, number 5, be prepared. As much as I'd love to tell you that it's going to be an easy route, it's not always going to be. As much as I would love to tell you that everyone around you is going to be okay with it, I can't. Not everyone in your life will be happy with your sexuality. But I found the best way to attack that is to not attack at all. I was fully prepared for my grandparents to not like anything about me being lesbian. They were in their late 70s, they grew up in a different time, they had different morals and beliefs, and I'd have to respect that. It was important for me to understand that it was a different experience for them growing up, and respect that for them, so that they might even reciprocate, and even if they didn't understand my sexuality, that they would respect it. I was very blessed. I never had any issues with my grandparents when they found out. They now also consider my partner their extra granddaughter, and they love me for who I am regardless. But I did have to understand that it was a different upbringing for them, and I had to hope that maybe for them just to know that their granddaughter was part of the LGBT community, that it might open their eyes a little bit and might even change their perspective. There you have it. I have given you my 5 top tips on how to make it a little bit easier when you're trying to come out of the closet. But again, I'm not an expert. I don't claim to be. These 5 tips were just a huge part of my coming out experience being so easy, as well as the fact that I actually was just really, really blessed and had such a big, happy, loving community of family and friends around me that were so supportive. Lastly, I would like to quickly have a quick mention to the amazing Australian organisations that are readily available to all LGBTQ youth. Ones like Q Life, there's Lifeline, there is Reach Out, there is Coming Out Australia, and even places like Headspace. These organisations dedicate their time and their funding towards the youth of LGBT Australia, whether it be mental health, sexual health, physical health, all that kind of stuff, etc., etc. I know I had an easy experience when I came out, and I know that it does make it very, very easy for me to sit here and tell you how fun and easy it's going to be to come out. I am very well educated on how traumatic and scary and horrible these experiences can be, because I know so many people that have gone through them. But at the end of the day, know that you're loved, know that you're special, know that you are unique, know that you're cared for, and that you're definitely always going to be nurtured by at least one person in the world, and that's going to be me. But lastly, I would like to say I'm here if you ever need any support or any comfort or anything at all, anything I can do to make your coming out experience easier than what it could be, let me know. Shoot me a message, DM me on Instagram, anything at all I can do. I'm more than happy to be someone you can talk to. There is nothing worse than someone suffering than them suffering in silence. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I also want to have a quick side note to everyone that messaged me about my first video, thanking me, congratulating me, wishing me the best of luck. I didn't think it would happen. So yeah, give it a thumbs up, like, subscribe, share the shit out of this video, because if you know someone that is struggling or taking it really tough with their coming out experience, maybe this video might help. Bye!